So here we go, March update. Sunday evening, it's been quite a sunny day. They've forecast rain for now, but it's not raining. They're not very good at the weather lately. So, March update, finger out of the way, the muddy lawn. So here, we've got all sorts of spring bulbs coming up. Roses have been pruned back. That thing is still dormant. You can see that there's a rose in there that I was going to relocate, but I haven't done that yet. There's quite a lot that I haven't done yet. I'm beginning to find that I'm quite good at not getting things done. So I haven't been a bit smart-ass about the weather. It's just beginning to rain, so we'll scoot round. Heavily pruned back rose, heavily pruned back shrubby plant. There's some prunings. This bit I haven't done. I've bought a couple of those little conifers to finish the line off, and they're up there lying on the ground. Compost bins, they were in no-go corner, but I've decided to get rid of those because I just simply produced too much material out of this place to store it all in the compost bins. And my local recycling centre lets you dump off plant waste and you get bags of compost in return. So I'm not going to do it all here, and the compost bin's going to go. I'll give those away. It's my little hydrangea, got some buds on it, quite promising, because I relocated that from over there, which is where I put the red hot pokers at the bottom of the steps. And I've just found out from Gardener's World that I'm a hellebore owner, or helebore. I know what it's called, but I don't know how to say it. Right, here we are. No real change there. But what I did buy was a bird feeder. Look, the size of that. That's from Costco. That is probably the biggest bird feeder I've ever seen. What I've decided to do is put bird seed in the bottom and peanuts in the top. So, heavily pruned rose. I think this is all the same as it was last time. Red hot pokers. Now here is a rhododendron. It just doesn't belong there. It struggles on from year to year. There's another one. I've been clearing back the ivy off of this fence, but there's still plenty there. There's a small iris which I was going to relocate. Haven't done that yet. So what has he done? Roses pruned back. One thing that I will add to the site is some old photographs that I found. Just need to scan them to show what the garden used to look like. Let's come down here, little shrubs, heebie-jeebies, all sorts. Now here you can see that I'm still reconditioning the soil, and I'm taking material from that big old lump there, and I'm digging it in. So this is all heavily under development. I've pruned that tree back quite massively actually, but it was either that or dig the thing up. And here's no-go corner. So I've sorted out the bricks. They're the biggest branches that I couldn't get into the shredder. That's the old bench. There's some paving slabs, and that corner there was the big pile of rocks, but having sorted out the bricks, reduced the volume a bit. I can see the end of that coming. There's some paving slabs which my brother wants. There's some spare, they're the little bricks which are used to build the wall, so some of those can come in handy. It's a fig tree, I've pruned that right back because it's getting a bit tangly. But here's my greatest triumph. So here is where the laurels are being cut back. That is where the soil was so high that it was just making a little landslide over the wall. I've dug that over, and this is where I'm moving the rhododendrons to, because I've got a feeling that this will be quite a good place for them. So there we are. That's one thing which has actually been finished. Looking back at No Go Corner, I think that these stones to the right hand side, I'm going to dig a very deep hole and chuck them down it and see if that does anything for the drainage. Those paving slabs will go. This mess here I will sort out, see whether there's things in there that I want to salvage. And there's the rubbish pile. The rubbish pile is considerably smaller. It's still somewhat massive. A lot of things are now coming to life. And there's the dahlia patch. And that's coming along nicely. I don't know what it shows up like on the camera, but it looks nice and dark. Every time I dig that over, it's just really backbreaking because it's very, very clayey, very soggy. It's just mush, really. I just hope that by keep digging it over, it's going to end up in much better condition. You can't really see many of the leaves left, but there's a ton of leaves and twigs and stuff like that gone in there. Just looking along this fence line now. What actually happened there was a lot of rubbish plants in between. I got rid of those, and all of a sudden some of the other plants, which no longer had the support of the surrounding plants, they fell over. I was a bit disappointed about that because they were nice, and they ended up in there. And then I cut them up into little pieces and put them in bags ready to go to the tip. Down here it's beginning to look a little bit, I must go back to this part. Look at that, what a triumph. But the rest of the garden is just still sitting there mocking me, knowing that I probably won't get the time to sort this out. But you know, as they say, Greece wasn't built in a day, or was it Rome? Who knows? But then coming here, that's going to be quite a good usable little area, really. So as I said before, I'll be keeping these things. I'll probably prune that back. There's too much growth coming up from the bottom, so I'll reduce it a bit. But there's all these scrubby little bits poking up, and I'll get those out. That tree looks a little bit brutalised, but it will come back. I've got various bits and pieces to try. Centre screen now, I've really heavily pruned that tree back because I just want to contain the things. I don't want to let them grow out of control. This little bugger. What my plan is here is that will be dahlias, and then down all the edges of the pathways I'll have lavender, and that thing, it's had a reprieve because I've worked out that I can probably get lavender in between the path and the little tree, which is a tree next to a tree, but we'll see. It's had its warning. There's some more miniature iris. I want them out. Basically, these. Oh, I have actually been digging today, so this isn't all that easy. But these, the iris that you saw back over that way, it's gooseberry bushes. They will come out. And here are the little red hot pokers, which are not doing anything, but I shouldn't think that they would be at this time of year anyway. But a lot of those miniature iris, etc., they'll get transplanted over here to my dad's bit of garden. So that's where my dad's memorial is, where my dad's boat is. I think this is going to be, there's just no getting around it. This is my dad's part of the garden. There's a lot of little bulby plants coming through. There's even some Montbretia in there. They're everywhere. And coming up here, heavily pruned back rows. What I want to do also, I don't know if I just keep repeating myself, but where those gooseberries are under the tree, there's one rose in the middle of that. There's a conifer there, and the brown clump in the middle is ferns. Those ferns are really nice when they come up. And I want to move the gooseberries to the back fence in no-go corner. I will keep the rose there, but down the edges of the paths where I say that I want to put the lavender, there's actually tons of peony tubers. I can't remember where they are, and I don't want to blindly dig them up, so I'm going to wait for them to sprout in the spring. I'm going to take them and plant them in one big bank here. They were actually in the garden in 1974 when we moved in. They're up along the edges of these paths and the right hand path, and likewise here I want to dig them into this bank, and then I can get spring colour out of those. See the daffodils come up, it's quite nice. And what I'm going to do here, what I'm going to try to do here, is space the peonies out and intersperse them later on with dahlias, so that I've got some sort of a scheme going on where I've got the spring colour, albeit short-lived. That plant there, which is under that plant there, that'll come out. That'll go to my dad's bit. Looking back at the house, I've started, I don't think I've done anything to that since the last video, but I have started to clear that out at some point, and I will keep going, because that will be quite a prime area for chucking in the dahlia. And oh dear, we've got an audience of a ghost at the window, so that would actually be quite a lot of colour there come the summer, and some of that colour might well come from the Montbretia. And there we are, there's my Montbretia bulbs. That's as far as I've got with sorting those out. There's the little conifers. I might well dig those in before it gets dark. And here's my latest triumph. That was my temporary greenhouse. I did build it and put it there. You can see there's still some nails in the black wood. I actually secured it to the wall. It blew away that many times that it's just now lying there in disgrace until I can take it to the tip. I wouldn't recommend getting one of those again. And beginning of March, that's the garden.